UFC 327 went down last Saturday night. Sadly, Yuri Prochazka did not get it done. I've already dropped a video breaking that fight individually down. But here today, to go through the whole card and matchups, all of these fighters, winners and losers. Yeah, sadly, we live in a world where this is a reality, but fortunately, I don't think it'll be for long. It is more than likely that Carlos Ulberg will be out for a year. Will have to be stripped of his belt. And they're either going to do an interim fight if they don't strip him, or there'll be another vacant light heavyweight title fight, just like Yuri versus Ulberg. However, card Yuri Prochazka versus Carlos Ulberg. I've already gone through it. Let's briefly go through it. The fight was only 3 minutes 45 seconds. Yuri Prochazka had it in the bag. Then decided to swing in and engage in trade like a madman. And Yuri Prochazka's weakness, his glaring weakness, he's always been susceptible to that left hook counter. Throws in wild, throws a wild left hand straight out there. Carlos Ulberg, he's an incredible counter striker. He may be fucking boring, but he's an incredible counter striker. Just pops him clean on the chin with a right hook. You know, Ulberg clearly has torn his ACL or some major ligament in his knee. Was hobbling about. The fight would have been stopped if it had gone to round two, and Yuri would have been champ. All Yuri had to do was just stay at range, pop the jab, pop a couple of low kicks, and he would have been champion of the world. But fair play to Ulberg, great heart. You know, you can't take that away from him. Impressive win. We didn't want to see that though. We wanted Yuri to be champ, but fair play Ulberg. And now for the matchups to make next. If the UFC want to give Yuri another title fight, I'm assuming Ulberg's going to get stripped for the vacant belt or interim belt. I would like to see Yuri Prochazka versus Magomed Ankalaev. That is pretty unrealistic because I don't think they're going to give Yuri another title shot, but I would love them to do it. I just don't see it happening. Yuri Ankalaev, you know. Let's be honest, Yuri has beaten everyone in the light heavyweight division bar Carlos Ulberg and Alex Pereira. There's no clear contender really, bar Ankalaev. It's pretty biased. I'm a big Yuri fan, but why not give Yuri another shot? I know he's just been slimed out. I know he was slimed out twice by Alex. But there's nobody else. Oh, bar one man who we'll get to later. There's literally nobody else, bar two people. People are calling you ridiculous for picking Yuri to get another title shot. I can understand it, but I think Yuri, for sure, should be in the picture for a fight against Ankalaev for the interim belt or the vacant belt. However, if they don't give him that, which probably sadly is going to happen, I would like to see Yuri Prochazka take on the winner of Jan Blachowicz versus Bogdan Guskov. That's going down in 328. Yeah, I'm pretty sure prelims are 328. I'd like to see him take on the winner of that. If it's Jan Blachowicz, why not do a Europe Fight Night main event? Anywhere in Europe, not England, not France, somewhere random. Prague, Netherlands, Poland. There's so many good European fighters, but yet the UFC still just go to fucking England and France a year and that's it. Go somewhere in Europe. It doesn't even have to be them countries. Germany, Spain, Italy, anywhere. Yeah, sad to see for Yuri. I would like to see Ulberg stripped of his belt. If he's going to be out for 12 months, just strip him. You know, there's no point. He's not going to be back in a couple of months. It's not like the Jan surgery and anything like that. He's going to be out for a long time. So I'd say you strip him. Yeah. I would like to see Ulberg stripped and Yuri get the title fight against Ankalaev. However, probably not going to happen. So it'd have to be the winner of Blachowicz versus Guskov for me. Moving on to the second fight of the night, the co-main event of the card, Azamat Murzakanov versus Paulo Costa. This was a very entertaining fight, let's not lie. Obviously, I picked Azamat Murzakanov to go out there and beat Paulo Costa. That did not happen. I fell for the hype train, the 16-0, the undefeated record. And to be honest, it's an understandable pick. People are clowning people for not picking Paulo Costa. The guy looked like shit in all of his fights in the last 5 odd years, bar the Kopylov fight. Moving up, I mean, Paulo Costa was the bigger guy, so Paulo Costa probably is a natural light heavyweight. You know, he cuts far too much weight to make 185. I wish more fighters would do that, just go and fight at upper weight class instead of draining themselves, literally nearly killing themselves to make the division below. But he looked very good in that first. Rounds 1 and 3 were clearly dominant for Paulo Costa. Round 2 was a bit dodgy, you know, Azamat had him up against the cage, landing a couple of nice hooks. But Paulo Costa did what was expected. He spammed that body kick, used the range, popped the kicks. He even took Azamat Murzakanov down, landed some nice elbows. Showed decent grappling against Azamat Murzakanov. He's not the best grappler, but he's not been out grappled by anyone yet. He's fought, so that was impressive. Paulo Costa's grappling is not really the biggest side of his game, but showed some good grappling, good ground game against a decent guy, Azamat Murzakanov. And let's be honest, Azamat Murzakanov had a lot of hype going into this And before that, coming off of his win against Alexander Rakic, he was undefeated. Let's be honest, if Azamat Murzakanov probably went out there and slammed out Paulo Costa, he would be getting a title fight. Paulo Costa looked very good though, landed a nice high kick. I'm pretty sure he broke some bone in his arm or shoulder. You know, Azamat looked like he couldn't take no more. People are going to say he's quit. Azamat, technically he quit, but you know, he just couldn't take any. It's like a tapping. He's tapped out basically to the shots. Just Paulo Costa landed another head kick that he blocked, kind of got through a bit, and Azamat just laid down, just laid down, and ref stopped it. Very good performance from Paulo Costa. Big upset. I did not pick him, and for his next fight, I would like to see Paulo Costa get a title fight against Magomed Ankalaev. I would like to see Yuri get it, but if they don't give it to Yuri, I would like to see it go to Paulo Costa. The guy is very impressive, as I said earlier. Azamat Murzakanov, 16-0, number 6 in the world. If he'd have gone and done what Paulo Costa did to him, Azamat would have got the title shot. So why not give Azamat Paulo Costa the title fight? You know, he's got that due connections now with Donald Trump. Donald Trump likes him, so that might help him out. He's a big fucking name. There's not really many contenders. Let's be honest, it's between him and Yuri for a title fight against Ankalaev. Unless they fuck it up and give it to Roundtree or someone like that, which don't fucking do that. Yeah, I'd like to see Paulo Costa take on Ankalaev. Imagine saying that 2 years ago, that you'd have sounded a complete retard. But what a reality we live in. Azamat Murzakanov, Magomed Ankalaev versus Paulo Costa. If they don't give him the title fight, they give it to Yuri, which I hope they do. I would like to see Paulo Costa take on a guy near the top of the division, like a Khalil Roundtree. Should be a decent fight. Both guys very technical. Both guys very good kickboxers. That'd be a great fight. Put it as a main event of some fight night or co-main event of a pay-per-view. Make it 5 rounds. Two elite fighters in this light heavyweight division. Both incredible with the kicks. Stand-up game incredible. Probably won't be much grappling. I'd like to see Paulo Costa either get a title fight or a title elimination bout. The guy shocked a lot of people. Looked very impressive. That's arguably the best Paulo Costa performance we've ever seen. You know, major redemption after his, had that big fight against Adesanya and has been on the decline ever since. Guys up there beats a prospect and Kopylov moves up, beats another prospect, but this time a highly ranked prospect. And Azamat Murzakanov looked very good. Why not reward him with either a title fight or a title elimination bout? The guy's a big name, the guy's fun. Yeah, I don't mind it. And for the loser, Azamat Murzakanov, I would like to see him take on, which is a bit of a weird one, Reina Derrida. Now, Azamat Murzakanov lost all that hype in the world now. No one's going to really care about him. He's probably going to take a lot of time off. Heal that injury up. Maybe this is a bit stupid, but I would like to see him take on Reina Derrida. Do you want to know why? Reina Derrida is bigger than Azamat Murzakanov. I need to see Azamat go out there, beat a guy bigger than him. The knees could be a massive problem. Reina Derrida is very goofy, very awkward on the feet, hard to hit. If Azamat Murzakanov would go out there and slime out Reina Derrida, that would be very impressive. But Reina Derrida, good grappler. Obviously, Paulo Costa get him down. Could take Azamat Murzakanov down. Reina Derrida, he was ranked about, what was he, like number 6, number 7. Not funny. In the middleweight division, moving up now to the light heavyweight division. Why not give him a guy, on the edge of the top 10, Azamat Murzakanov? Reina Derrida is a pretty big name in Europe. Azamat Murzakanov was undefeated, big name. Be a good fight, put it on a main card of a pay-per-view, main card of a fight night. Be a good fight, 3 rounds. Reina Derrida want to take him down, Azamat want to KO him. Yeah, that is what I would do. Maybe you could see Azamat getting another guy that like a Johnny Walker or a Reyes, a Hill, anyone like that. But I'd like to see him take on Reina Derrida. A unique and goofy matchup. Welcome RDR to the light heavyweight division. Yeah, Azamat was very disappointing in that fight. Paulo Costa got completely outstruck, got took down. Yeah, disappointed from Azamat. I picked Azamat. The feature fight of the card, Curtis Blades versus Josh Hockett. And wow, what a fucking fight that was. Arguably fight of the year. Just look at the fucking stats. 214 strikes from Curtis Blades, 181 from Josh Hockett. This is fucking heavyweights. This isn't flyweights. Incredible fight from start to end. Josh Hockett comes out there quick, puts a couple of nice overhands and right hands on the chin of Blades. I thought Blades was going to get TKO'd early, but Blades shown fucking real heart. Blades got a solid chin, was cut open badly, kept pushing forward. Honestly, the fight was, I watched it back on Sunday morning. Could argue Blades won it. It was very even, but Josh Hockett landed the more significant strikes. Hockett had Blades rocked about 2 or 3 times. I mean, Hockett weren't really in much trouble. Blades was probably landing the more volume towards rounds 2 and 3. Josh Hockett started very well. Rounds 2 and 3, Blades come on a bit more stronger. And then Josh Hockett took over again at the end of the fight, stunning Blades, having him tracking backwards. The whole fight literally was just 1-2s, no defense. Incredible fight. Both guys fucking damaged badly. I'm surprised Josh Hockett is coming back so soon. Obviously, we know he's fighting Derek Lewis at the White House. A bit strange, weird matchup. I don't get it, but Donald Trump loves both guys now apparently. But I thought he was very impressive. I did pick him to win. I did think he'd beat Curtis Blades. I didn't think it'd be like this. I thought he would slime him out pretty early, but fair play to Curtis Blades. And let's be honest, Josh Hockey isn't really a heavyweight, is he? Josh Hockey is a bloated up middleweight. You know, if this was vice versa, Josh Hockey had the extra 30 pounds, he would have KO'd Blades in that first round. But impressive performance, went out there, outstruck the guy. And really, it was a massive aura gamble. The guy had so much hype going into it, chatting all the shit, the middle fingers during the fight. If he'd have gone and got slammed out, round one. Yeah, not good. But he proved a lot of people wrong. I was a fan. I still am a fan. I'm impressed by Josh Hockett. I think he's on to big things in this division. I don't think he goes out there and beats Aspinall, Pereira, Garn, anyone like that. But I think he for sure is guy fighting near that top end of the division, and he's proved it going out there beating a crafty vet, a guy that he's still got it, Curtis Blades, not a crafty vet, a guy that's been there, done it, got the t-shirt, as they say. Look very impressive, and obviously we know he's fighting Derek Lewis, a bit of a shit fight. Risky as fuck because Derek Lewis can tune in. Let's be honest, Derek Lewis has 10 times more power than Curtis Blades. However, Derek Lewis doesn't really move his head or move at all, to be honest. We saw his last fight with Wilder. The guy just stood there, fell over. You could see Josh Rocket use his grappling in this one, but weird fight. But Josh Rocket ain't going to say no, is he? All the hype in the world, big name, White House, I can understand it. However, for Curtis Blades, the loser, I would like to see him take on Tyrell Fortune. You know, Curtis Blades, let's be honest, he is not really going to go out there. Let's be honest, we're not going to pick Curtis Blades to go out there and beat a Pavlovich, a Volkov. Maybe he could beat Wilder, none of these top guys. I think he needs to fight down, get his confidence back. Maybe he could get a finish here against Tyrell Fortune. You know, the guy looked pretty mid against Marcin Tybura. I mean, you don't have to give him Fortune, just some guy lower down. He's a big name still. Tyrell Fortune coming off a win in his debut. And let's be honest, this is a big all or nothing for Tyrell Fortune, you know. Kind of weird that they signed him. No one really knows who he was outside the UFC. He wasn't exactly some big prospect, nothing like that. But massive fight for him if he can beat Curtis Blades. Then you've got a semi-star, I guess. 2 good wins, Tybura and Blades if he gets that. But I would suspect Blades would beat Tyrell Fortune. Better grappling, better stand-up, probably similar to the Cunha fight where he'd outstrike him and get the win. But yeah, disappointing to see Blades lose. Obviously, I don't mind Curtis Blades. I just thought Josh Rocket was better than him. Kind of harsh. The one guy that doesn't deserve all that trash talk is Curtis Blades in this division. The guy's like he's up there with Stephen Thompson as one of the nicest guys in the UFC. But it's fighting. Josh Rocket went out there, did the job, talked the shit, got the name, massive star, got a fight in the White House. Couldn't have gone any better for Josh Rocket. Incredible fight of the year, arguably already. Next fight on the card, Dominic Reyes versus Johnny Walker. Wow, what a fight this was. Absolute action from start to finish. It was just like Josh Hockey versus Curtis Blades. Dominic Reyes through, Johnny Walker through. There was blood everywhere, cuts open. Incredible fight. Knockdown after knockdown. Fight of the year. So entertaining. I was so excited watching that. I couldn't take my eyes off it. No, seriously. What the fuck was that? Awful fight from both guys. It was literally like MVP Sam Patterson, fucking Ngannou, Derek Lewis. Both guys have no chin. Both guys didn't want to get into KO. Dominic Reyes even said it in the interview. Sometimes you have to fight smart. Sometimes it's boring. He got the win. Fair play. I don't really think he won. I would have scored it a draw. Let's be honest. Nobody won. Like you got the win, but you didn't fucking beat him up or anything. Like it wasn't clear. But Dominic Reyes is American. You know, we could lean into that bias, but I don't really think that exists outside of the Middle East and these small countries like France, where they blatantly cheat. But Dominic Reyes got the win. It wasn't impressive at all. Just fucking, there was about 2 punches a minute. Johnny Walker, they just stand at range. Johnny Walker throw a kick, Reyes a throw a kick, a little jab. Very fucking boring. Not much happened. I did think Johnny Walker started well though. Them leg kicks were nice. Honestly, I thought Johnny Walker won now that I'm thinking about it. But Dominic Reyes got the win. Very fucking boring. Not much to say. For Dominic Reyes, I know he doesn't deserve it, but I think he should fight a guy like Khalil Roundtree. Maybe that's a bit too generous. Maybe a Jamal Hill is more relevant, necessary and deserved. But Reyes versus Roundtree, one last run for Reyes. If he gets slimed out again like he did against Olberg, then you can call it quits for ever putting Reyes in the title picture. But this is a winnable fight. Reyes could pop him off at range, but I'd suspect Khalil Roundtree would outstrike him and get his way to a decision win. Reyes is a good counter striker though. Khalil can throw some weird shit. We see him against Yuri, and Khalil can gas out sometimes, but I would suspect Khalil Roundtree should get this win. Honestly, it's a good fight for Khalil to bounce back after that not embarrassing, brutally KO'd against fucking Yuri Praska. You know, Khalil's been training with Chimaev, so maybe he could use his grappling. But I would like this fight next for Reyes. Could give him Jamal Hill. That's maybe a bit more realistic, but the UFC clearly like Dominic Reyes. They want to push him up and give him a decent fight against Khalil Roundtree. Khalil Roundtree can't exactly say no, can he? You know, you just got slimed out by Prohaska. You got slimed out by Pereira. You don't deserve that interim title fight. This is to be a decent fight. And for the loser, Johnny Walker, I'd like to see him fight Dustin Jacoby. I really like Dustin Jacoby. I know he's old. He always brings it. Nasty curve, nasty power. Same as Johnny Walker. If he throws, there's no way. Now, we said this about Reyes versus Walker. There's no way this fight doesn't end in a curve. Johnny Walker's at his best when he's throwing wild. I know he gets chin, but both guys, you can make a real start at Dustin Jacoby. I know he's 38, but I think that'd be a good fight, good striking battle. Put it on the main card of a fight night, prelims of a paper numbered card. Decent fight. Like maybe you give Dominic Reyes someone higher, Dominic Reyes, Johnny Walker someone higher rank, but I think Dustin Jacoby deserves it. You know, Johnny Walker's not exactly in a position to demand these big fights. Dustin Jacoby, decent name, good power, got good finishes. Same with Johnny Walker. Both guys a bit suspectable with the chin, but I'd like to see this fight happen next. Opening up the main card, we had Cub Swanson versus Nate Landwehr. An incredible performance from Cub Swanson. The dream scenario for a retirement fight. Went out there, just dominated Nate Landwehr. Put the shots on him early, sat him down twice before eventually sitting him down the third time and getting the finish. Just Nate Landwehr had nothing for him. Cub Swanson was far too fast, far too technical. Nate Landwehr couldn't get nowhere near him. Cub Swanson would push forward, land those nice 1-2 combos. A couple of hooks up against the fence. He had Nate Landwehr pushing back. Completely dominated him. Nate Landwehr had nothing for him. Very impressive from Cub Swanson. Nice to see him get a win in his retirement fight. A real legend of the sport. Honestly, maybe he shouldn't retire. You know, he's 42, but he's not going to get a better career ending than that, really. So maybe if he comes back, fight someone decent, he's just going to get slammed out probably. But you know, 42 legend of the game. I can understand it. Respectable, incredible performance against Nate Landwehr. But Nate Landwehr's not that good. Let's be honest. I don't know why I picked Nate Landwehr. I'm trying to be edgy. You know, every card I like to go for a weird underdog that could win. But good performance from Cub Swanson. Nate Landwehr had literally nothing for him. Embarrassing. Cub Swanson knocked him down as Nate Landwehr was trying to get up, knocked him down again, sent him flying across the octagon. And then put the eventual cherry on top. Nice 1-2 up against the cage. Sat Nate Landwehr down. Arguably the only stoppage, but Nate had took so much damage, got knocked down so many times in the round, was getting completely dominated. I understand the stoppage. It was a decent stoppage. I think when he got up, he was like all jittery. You know what they're like. Just think of Charles Johnson versus Perez. You know, fuck Charles Johnson. That was such a beautiful sight where they just get up and start stumbling around. Yeah, very good performance from Cub Swanson. He's retired, so there's no matchup for him next. Nate Landwehr, on the other hand, I would also like to see him retire. He's 38 years old, 37, majorly regressing. You know, he had that big fight with Doo Ho Choi where he could have made something. He's a funny guy, always in a brawl, but you can't take it anymore. He's only getting worse. Got lost to Morgan Charrier last time out. He's just rapidly on the decline. He's just going to get slammed out again and again. That CTE is growing. If he stays around, give him a give him a bottom of the barrel guy like Christian Rodriguez in the featherweight division. Pretty underwhelming from Nate Landwehr. Disappointing to see, but very good for Cub Swanson. Nice retirement win and a fairy tale ending for a legendary career. The guy's got wins over Poirier and Oliveira. Next fight on the card, headline of the prelims, we had Patricio Pitbull versus Aaron Pico. And wow, what a performance from Aaron Pico. I picked Aaron Pico. I knew he'd beat Patricio Pitbull. Many guys were writing Pico off because he lost to Ryan Murphy. Ryan Murphy is one of the best featherweights in the world. I don't think he ever touches the belt, but you cannot deny he's one of the best in the world. Very technical. Calling Aaron Pico chinny is stupid. Who is eating that spinning backflips from Ryan Murphy? No one's going to eat that. You call him chinny all you want. Pitbull had nothing for Pico, an incredible performance. Outstruck him clearly. Very fast, slick on the feet. Combos were nice. 1-2s, counter striking. Sat Pitbull down. No, did he? No, he didn't sit him down. He took him down a couple of times and I don't know, forget that shit. Took him down a couple of times. Very nice. Clearly winning every round. Clear 30-27. Round one was a bit dodgy though. Pitbull landed a couple of nice strikes and they're just settling into the fight. Pico got a nice takedown. Pitbull did well to get back up to the cage. You know, maybe Pico's wrestling's a bit overrated. You know, Pitbull not a great grappler. It was easy able to get back up, but looked very good on the feet. Slick 1-2 combos. Pitbull had nothing for him. A very disappointing signing. Pitbull, he's fucking beaten Dan Ige and lost to Yair and Pico. Pico seems to be a good signing. Real potential for him. I actually quite like watching. I really enjoyed that performance. It was similar to Ethan Ewing versus Rafael Estevam. Very good striking, slick on the feet. Very impressed with Aaron Pico. And for him next, I would like to see him take on Yair Rodriguez, if you can get the fucking cunt to fight. Yair Rodriguez just doesn't want to fight. He wants to sit in that number 4, number 3 rankings. I don't know what he is. He's way too high. Give him a guy like Aaron Pico. If they don't give it Kevin Vallejos, I know Kevin Vallejos, Yair is rumoured, but I'd like to see Kevin Vallejos take on Jean Silva. Or you could do Pico, Jean Silva, I don't know, but I'd like to see Pico get a big fight. The guy's clearly good. He's got a lot of hype at the moment, trains with Chimaev sometimes, I think, yeah. I'd like to see this fight. Yair, fuck Yair, he needs to fight a contender. He's beating Pitbull and sitting on that. Pitbull was clearly shit, doesn't deserve it. You know, you've gone out there and beaten Pitbull last year, 314. You've sat on your ass. Go beat another contender. You don't deserve big matchups like Evloev, Murphy, Volt. Fuck you, Yair Rodriguez. And for the loser, Patricio Pitbull, if. Oh, wrong one. If he is still ranked, I would like to see him take on Nathaniel Wood. You know, we've got Emmett leaving. They're probably going to kick Josh Emmett out the rankings. Brian Ortega still got a ranking, so Pitbull could still be around that 14 to 15 mark. This is only if he's still ranked, give him Nathaniel Wood, as Nathaniel Wood is a ranked opponent, and this is a winnable fight for Nathaniel Wood. He will just replicate that Pico performance. Far too fast on the feet. Jabs, leg kicks. Wood is an incredible striker. He's going to take a power puncher and a grappler to take him down. Someone like Osin Kita with more technical ability, like Ken Vallejos, maybe someone like that. But if Pitbull isn't in the rankings, give him a guy like Giga Chikadze, Larian Douglas, some prospect like that. Just Pitbull's a big name. They're probably paying him a lot of money. They could even cut him, you know. But if he's not in the rankings, don't give him Wood. But if he is, give him Nathaniel Wood. Very disappointing from Pitbull. Looked incredibly mid when he's fought anyone half decent, bar Dan Ige. Got just dominated by Pico. Had nothing for him. Again, he was just standing at range, getting hit with the 1-2s. Pico was moving out the way, blocking all the shots. Very disappointing from Patricio Pitbull. What an awful signing. Signed him way too late. Why sign guys at 38 from outside of your UFC? It's just shit. Next fight on the card, we had Kevin Holland versus Randy Brown. This was a very good fight. Some questionable fight IQ from Randy Brown, I thought, but Kevin Holland looked like his old self again. Outstruck Randy Brown pretty much for the first 2.5 rounds, really. Got nice takedown on Randy Brown. Had that real threat with that Anaconda or Darce choke, whatever the one. Both look the same. Against Randy Brown, that's his specialty. But Randy Brown did very well to defend it. I was impressed with Kevin Holland, you know. I picked Randy Brown. I was disappointed with what I'd seen from Kevin Holland lately. Mid performances against guys like Gunnar Nelson, Daniel Rodriguez, who we'll get to in a minute. Guys like that, Mike Malott, he was on a big losing streak, but that's Kevin Holland, you know. One fight will turn up. What, like, you could genuinely go out there and beat fucking Islam Makhachev one fight, and go out there and lose to Antonio Ghibli the next. He's very inconsistent, but look good. He actually starts to use his range. Very nice low kicks out of Randy Brown in big trouble. I like the low kick from Kevin Holland. Very good approach against a guy like Randy Brown, who really, you know, that limited the movement. Randy Brown likes to move on the back foot. Them low kicks had him hurt early. Smart to try and take him down. He had him in the clinch, tried to get the DAS. Very good fight from Kevin Holland. Them first 2 rounds. The first 2 rounds of that fight were very good. And Randy Brown, for some reason, I don't know what the fuck the guy was doing. Down 2 rounds, needed a KO. Went out there, just thought, you know, I'll just clinch and hold you against the cage, mate. Try and take Kevin Holland down. When he's a shit grappler, Kevin Holland's a better grappler. Weird from Randy Brown. Down 2 rounds, just trying to hold him against the cage. 0-4 for takedowns. You know, guy was shooting takedowns for his life. He's a fucking striker. This is Kevin Holland doing. Kevin Holland's got a nice DAS. Randy Brown, you're not a grappler. Shit fight IQ. You may have been hurt. It may have been, you know, he didn't want to get flatlined again after Bonfim. But disappointed from Randy Brown. I picked Randy Brown. I thought we'd be able to put Kevin Holland out. Looked very weak on the feet. Smart from Kevin Holland. Pop the leg kicks early. Yeah, good performance from Kevin Holland. For him next, I would like to see him rematch D-Rod. We heard all that shit about him bailing out prison. A bit weird if you ask me. Why have they made a deal? Like, you know, I'm going to bail you out. I'm going to fight you. Weird. But Kevin Holland could beat D-Rod. Looked like absolute shit in that fight last time out. I think it was a UFC 316 or 18. Kevin Holland looked like absolute shit. Wants to get it back. I can understand it. And that's a winnable fight for Kevin Holland. D-Rod, good striker. Kevin Holland should look to take him down, probably chop the leg kick like he did against Randy Brown. Then he'd have some success. But D-Rod's a decent striker. Grappling's a bit questionable, but he's a solid striker for sure. You know, the bro's been in prison, you know. All you do in prison is work out. I wouldn't know. I've never been to prison. Yeah. That should be the fight next. Or if they don't want to do that, we see Jacoby Smith call him out. That would be a good fight. Jacoby Smith is a good prospect, very good wrestling. That'd be a good fight challenge for Kevin Holland. Yeah, either Daniel Rodriguez or Jacoby Smith next for Kevin Holland. And for the loser, Randy Brown, I would like to see him take on Carlos Leal, a decent striker in the welterweight division. Someone like Carlos Leal, coming off of a decent win. Randy Brown's a big name. You can use him to elevate a star. Or, you know, he's still a big name. Been in the UFC a long time. Jamaican, not many Jamaican fighters. That'd be a good fight. Carlos Leal, very good striker. Randy Brown is as well. Kevin Holland shut him down. I'd like to see that fight. That stinks of some like Abu Dhabi prelim fight. Carlos Leal's a good fight. Like overthrows. I mean, Chidi and Jaquani fucking dynamite chin against him in the last fight. Carlos Leal's going to go out there. He's either going to have an entertaining fight, he's going to slam you out, or he's going to get slammed out. He's a great striker. Randy Brown is as well. I'd like to see that fight next to Randy Brown. Disappointing performance though against Kevin Holland. Good win from Kevin Holland. He looks back, but this is always what Kevin Holland does. He'll look good one fight and look shit the next. Next fight on the card was Mateusz the Gamer Gamrot versus Esteban Ribovic. First of all, any chance of Esteban Ribovic winning was eradicated when he had a shave. The guy looked like 13 years old in the cage. I know that doesn't mean much, but aura. No aura with a shave. Looked like a baby. But when are the UFC going to learn? Stop giving Gamrot to these prospects outside of the rankings that can't grapple. Gamrot's an elite grappler. He's going to take an Oliveira. He's going to take at the time, a Dariush, someone at the top of the division, an Arman to beat him. Gamrot's grappling is so good. If you're not a high level grappler, he's just going to smudge you, get control time, get a submission, land ground and pound, and wait his way to a decision win or a finish. And that's exactly what he did against Ribovic. Incredible takedown in that second round. Ribovic threw like a retard, throwing big shots, high kicks, overhands. Gamrot knows that's coming. Incredible counter. Gamrot ducked under the overhand. I think it was an overhand. Yeah, overhand. Took him down in that second round. That was it. Gamrot got the arm triangle. The referee was in the way for some weird reason. Ribovic had nothing for Gamrot. As expected, Gamrot went out there. Gamrot's actually an underrated striker, but obviously he wants to take you down. Decent striking exchange for a couple of minutes. Then he got the takedown. Ribovic survived the first round. Got up a few times up against the cage. But second round, Ribovic threw like a madman. Gamrot perfectly timed it, ducked under, got him down, got him in the full guard. Transitioned to half guard, I'm pretty sure. Wrapped up the arm triangle. Very impressive performance from Gamrot. When are they going to learn? Stop giving him guys like Kulovic, Klein, and Ribovic. I know he didn't deserve a big fight after getting destroyed by Oliveira, but that's Charles Oliveira. Gamrot is just an incredible gatekeeper. He's not going to lose to guys like Ribovic. He's too good on the feet, underrated on the feet. Incredible grappling. Will fraud check guys that can't grapple. And for him next, I would like to see him take on Benoit Saint Denis. This is literally the guys just outside that top 5, top 10 that have been fraud checked. Whoever wins this should get a big fight against an Arman, not an Oliveira, an Arman, someone like that in the top of the division. I would like to see this next. Both guys are literally the same. BSD, you'd probably give the striking advantage to. Both guys good grappling. Both guys marauder style, solid chins. I think this would be an absolute war. Maybe make it a main event of a fight night. Like I said, fight night Poland, even Paris. As boring as it is, they always go there. Go to Europe, have a nice fight night. 5 rounds, main event, incredible fight, guaranteed war. Finish probably likely in later rounds. I would like that fight next. I can understand it. Gamrot's called out. It could be anyone. This lightweight division is fucking well open. You could have Pimlet. Got Pimlet in the discussion. Even Arman maybe. I can run that back. Dan Hooker run that back. Guys like that in the division. The division's wide open at the moment, but I would like to see Gamrot versus BSD. And for Esteban Ribovic, I would like to see him take on Caue Fernandez, a good striker outside the rankings. We all remember when Harry Hardwick head kicked Caue Fernandez. So he's going to need to get a redemption fight against Esteban Ribovic. That'd be a good striking battle. Both guys good strikes. And you see what I mean? Look at his face. He looks about 13 now. You need a beard. You need to have some aura points if you're going to beat Mateusz Gamrot. I know that sounds very brain rotty, but it's true. He had no aura out there. No grappling. Yeah, that'd be a decent fight. That stinks of a prelim opener, headlining the prelims, early prelims fight of a numbered card. Be a great fight, very good striking fight. Both guys are incredible strikers. I've seen Caue Fernandez in real life at UFC London 2 years ago where he destroyed Guram Kutaladze. Caue Fernandez has some of the best leg kicks in the entire UFC. I would like to see that fight next. Next fight, Tatiana Suarez versus Lupi Godinez. This was quite a decent fight to be honest. Two very high level grapplers in the strawweight division. Tatiana Suarez had some trouble at first. Lupi Godinez stunned her very early. And she took her down. Why are you trying to take Tatiana Suarez down? She transitioned it beautifully, took the back, ended the round on top in full guard. Tatiana Suarez is an incredible grappler, let's be honest. Her only loss is to Zhang Weili, and Zhang Weili is just... This is why I'm not really interested in this division. Zhang Weili is so clear of all these women. Tatiana Suarez is probably the second best fighter in the division. Maybe Dern, maybe, what's her name? The man looking Raul Rosas Jr. What's her name? Jandiroba. Maybe we need to see them fights, but outside of Zhang Weili, she's probably the second best, if not third. And she goes through everyone else, and Zhang Weili's just going to easily 50-45 her. It's like Max Holloway in the featherweight division with Volk. But impressive performance. Second round took her down, took the back, got a rear naked choke. Luca Bedinez had nothing for her on the ground. Good grappler herself, but Tatiana Suarez is that level above. Got the win, very impressive. And for her next, I would like to see her take on a big prospect herself at the moment, Gillian Robertson. Winner of that could get a title fight. It's kind of hard to give Tatiana Suarez a title fight when she got brutally 50-45. Weren't competitive at all. I mean, she's not Diego Lopez. They're not going to do that. They only give them type of fights to Diego Lopez. But that'd be a good fight. Similar to this, Gillian Robertson's probably a tiny bit better grappler than Lupi Godinez. I'd like to see that fight. Decent grappling fight. I'd lean to Tatiana Suarez. I just think she's better than Gillian Robertson on the ground. She looked pretty, but so did Suarez. Both these women fought Lemos. Both had scrappy fights with Lemos, but Gillian Robertson probably performed better against Lemos. But that MMA math doesn't work. I'd like to see that next. And to be honest, I don't really care. Zhang Weili's the clear goat of that division. And for the loser, Lupi Godinez, I'd like to see her take on that woman, Amanda Lemos. I feel bad for Amanda Lemos. She's the only striker in that division near the top of the division. She just gets racked out by everyone. Yeah. Lupi Godinez needs to get a redemption fight. Maybe Tabitha Ricci. She's the only other woman around that. But I don't think they want to give her a grappler after that. Honestly, they'll probably give Lemos Tabitha Ricci. You know, in the UFC, they want to build Tabitha Ricci up. But to be honest, I don't care. Just give Lemos, Godinez some woman around that top 10 area. And I can identify Amanda Lemos as one to take. Give her. Yeah. Good fight from Tatiana Suarez, but she cannot really get a title fight. I mean, no, she's Mackenzie Dern. Maybe give her Mackenzie Dern. But Zhang Weili's brutally 50-45 there. It's hard to justify it. Now, a fight that had a lot of controversy. Chris Padilla versus Manuel Medeiros has been overturned. The fight originally was Chris Padilla by decision. Overturned it to a draw. And I'm not going to lie, I live in the UK. They don't let us watch that on TNT Sports. You only get to see the prelims and the main card. However, I've seen some highlights on Twitter, X, whatever you fucking call it nowadays. And this was a stupid scorecard. Manuel Medeiros started the first round well, arguably won round 1. Chris Padilla took over from round 2 onwards, clearly won rounds 2 and 3. Should have been a clear Chris Padilla win. Manuel Medeiros did okay, but what is wrong with these judges, bro? They're fucking good at Medeiros. Awful judges. Padilla clearly won that fight. Harsh, because, you know, I mean, I did see him live. He was on that UFC London card 2 years ago. He leaves it in the hands of the judges. He doesn't go out there and finish guys unless they're cans, but Manuel Medeiros isn't a can. He's always in a close fight, and when you're in a close fight, you're going to get shit scorecards. It's not right, but it's just what the fucking shitty sport is. And for the winner, well, for Chris Padilla, kind of derailed the hype train a bit. I'd like to see him take on a guy like Matt Favola, get one more big win against a big name. Then you learn your ranked opponent or you another big fight. Harsh to see because I thought he won that fight. He's gone up there. To be honest, his resume is not that great. Let's be honest. Manuel Medeiros is okay. He's beaten Jai Herbert and Ismail Bonfim. Both of those guys aren't that great. I'd like to see him take on a guy like Matt Favola, who's okay on the decline. I think Padilla could get an easy KO over Matt Favola. He's on the decline. And for the loser, technically, or the drawer, as you fucking say, I'd like to see him take on Elvis Brenner. Elvis Brenner's a solid guy. Still a prospect himself. He's clearly not that level where he can be taking out these ranked opponents and guys like that. Get a decent win over a solid name like Elvis Brenner. That should be a decent fight. Elvis Brenner's always in good fights. A warrior, solid chin. That could be an absolute war. I see that on. That stinks of an Apex card main card fight. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't see it. I live in the UK. Sorry. But I did think Chris Padilla should have been the rightful winner. Weird fucking judges. Kelvin Gastelum versus Vicente Luque. Again, I didn't see it. I live in the UK. I'm not going to say it again. But Vicente Luque, nasty Das. The special, the Luque special, the Das joke. Gastelum took him down. Luque got the Das. That's what he does. Gastelum. Yeah, bro. Just wrap it up, bro. Gastelum. It's a sad decline, you know. The guy, fucking Michael Bisping, he KO'd. Good performance from Luque moving up to middleweight. He looks like a decent contender. But let's be honest, if there's a decent striker's going to put him out, easy sell for Luque round 1. Nice Das. Not really much to say there. For Vicente Luque, I would like to see him take on Abus Magomedov. I really like Abus Magomedov. Solid grappler, solid striker. He's only lost to elite guys. I think he's lost to both Ferreira. He beat Ferreira. He's only lost to Gregory Rodriguez, Strickland, and Python, I'm pretty sure. And Bahalion. He's only lost to great guys in the sport. Solid guy on the verge of the rankings. Obviously losing to Joe Papa last time out. I think that's a good fight for Vicente Luque. Vicente Luque could win that. However, Abus probably going to outstrike him. That'd be a good fight. Luque Could submit him. You know, we've seen Abus get submitted before. That'd be a decent fight. I don't really want to give Luque a prospect because he's not that good. He's on decline. His chin's fucked. Decent guy though, does deserve a decent fight and a decent name like Abus Magomedov. For the loser, Kelvin Gastelum. Oh, wrong one. I think he should take on a decent, well, a prospect, not a decent prospect. Tresean Gore coming off of an incredible performance against Asmat Bakoyev. His back was against the wall. Everyone thought he was going to lose. I thought he was going to lose. Looked very good against Asmat Bakoyev. Good prospect. Obviously losing to Yusuri Bulgaru, who's an incredible prospect himself. But yeah, this would be a decent fight. Tresean Gore, solid grappler. Gastelum, solid grappler. I would favour Gore. He's the faster guy, more younger, more hungry. You know, I mean, that's not true actually. Look at Gastelum, he's always more hungry. But solid fight for Tresean Gore. And I'll see if he's really improved or not, because that was an incredible performance against Bakayev. Gastelum's solid guy as well. He's not easy to finish. Yeah, that's what I'd like to see next. Sad to see for Gastelum, man. What a fall off. Charles Ratke versus Francisco Prado. Ratke said it again. Decent win against a pretty shit guy. Francisco Prado's not all that. You know, Prado was taking him down. Yes, Ratke got some decent strikes off his back. It's a pretty competitive fight though, to be honest, in that first round. Ratke did enough to get the win. I'm not too high on the Ratke hype train since he lost to Mike Malott. I do think he's shown improvements in the grappling, but he's not going to be a top guy in this division. He's a fun guy though. Keep him around. He's pretty funny, and I would like to see him take on Trey Waters. That is the guy Sam Patterson curved. That'd be a decent fight, decent striking exchange. Ratke would have a striking advantage. Maybe struggling with the reach though, but Trey Waters has an incredible reach. Guy's like 6'4" in 170, weird weight bully, but yeah, he's coming off a KO loss. Ratke's coming off 2 solid wins. And I'm not giving Prado our next opponent. He should be cut from the UFC. He lost to Vakratinov, lost to Ratke. Pretty sure he lost to Jake Matthews. He's got some. I don't think he's won a fight in the UFC. If he has, it was against a complete can. Cut Prado. Stop giving these guys chances. They're not good. They're not going to improve. They're shit. Yeah. Good performance from Ratke. He said it again. Not really an elite prospect. Solid fighter in the division though. Solid striking, solid grappling. He's like 75 overall. He'll do the job, but he's not going to go out there and beat no one too good, to be honest. Fun fighter though. Keep him around. Good win for Ratke. Yeah, that's the full card. Let me know what you guys think about the card, matchups, you know, some controversial ones. Yeah, thank you again for watching. Drop a like, subscribe, please, all that good stuff. Yeah, goodbye.